Got the best part of 20,000 plus motocross screaming crowds here to enjoy with their air horns to enjoy this 4 Grand Prix races. Round 8 of the FIM World Motocross Championship. This is the Grand Prix of England. We are here, as I said, in just outside Winchester, just a touch outside Winchester. There is the championship leader, for a young French 17-year-old rider, Christophe Pourcel, who will be looking for something better than he had in Italy. A third and a fourth for him there, but look at the track. The machines in the middle there have worked so hard with the drivers. They were still going at it at 2 o'clock this morning, and so were the public in the beer tent, I can tell you. It was one hell of a ding-dong party going on last night. Number 12, Kenneth Gunderson, the winner. He's 9th in the championship, but he won the qualifying heat, one of the 2 qualifying heats from the MX2 class. And of course, Kenneth, you know, back from that pretty nasty injury that he picked up a couple of years ago. So Gunderson, winner of race 2. The British crowds, of course, will be here in force to cheer on the British riders. Billy McKenzie, Carl Nunn, of course, on that number 8 KTM, who won last year, of course, down there. Nicholas Orbin, down there last year in Matcham's Park, won the first race. So let's have a look down how British Ray Rosen from the Molson squad. He finished 7th in his qualifying heat. It was race 2. He rode absolutely brilliantly to Ray. I don't know what they gave him for breakfast. Whatever it was something that certainly made him go quicker. The defending champion, Antonio Corroli, there he is, 4th in the championship. Looking for something special here. He was in the beer tent last night at 12 o'clock. I can tell you, this boy likes to party. Gareth Swanepoel, another of the Molson Kawasaki lads, qualified in 8th. Billy McKenzie, 2 falls in his qualifying heat, although he still managed to get through into 11th position. In doing so, pushed poor old Sean Simpson down to 13th, so Sean on the reserve list. So there you see Tommy Searle, 8th onto the grid. Carl Nunn in 6th. So those were our 2 top Brits here in the qualifying sessions. MX2, of course, qualifying races 1 and 2. Pourcel was the winner of his qualifying race, race 1, with Nicholas Orbin alongside him. Carl Nunn finished 4th. Tommy Searle was in 5th in the qualifying heat. Tom Church back to Grand Prix after not qualifying last week. He finished in 9th, so a good ride. Jason Dugan was in 10th, Brad Anderson 11th. Of course, our British lads, well, some of our other lads didn't make it through. Wayne Smith, of course, Scott Probert not making it through either. Banks Brown, also, well, Mark DeRuva had to go to the last chance race because he fell in the qualifying race, had to go through to the last chance race, of which he duly went and won. No surprise there. Laura Watts there with the 15-second balls. There she is, the girl with the dark hair. I knew her when she was racing at 10 years of age. She's now about 19. Gorgeous young lady, Laura Watts, with the board, and are about to get race 1 underway. Here we go. GP of Great Britain. Go, go, go. MX2, race 1. Who's going to make that first all-important corner? And I'm looking, well, as our camera pans through, I'm not sure who that was. Mid-pack at the moment. We'll pick up the leaders on one of our next shots. 22 there, that's Tom Church. You can see him in there, and that looks like Kenneth Gunderson that could well have got the start. Yes, it is Gunderson, the Norwegian rider. Back, as I say, after a injury-stricken year, last 2 years, and sort of it's nice to have Kenneth back. Such a nice guy to speak to, as most of the Norwegian people are. If you're viewing us on television around the world at the moment, I'd like to say good morning to you from, well, good afternoon now from Great Britain, and also moi to our friends in Finland on behalf of Antti Perinen, who will be out in MX1 after this. And let us also say hi to all our friends that are watching us around the globe on MediaZone.com. If you're viewing on Media Zone, whoever you are, Ben Townley, I remember the remarks you posted on your website. Thank you very much for your compliments. Ben down there in America. But if you're watching us on MediaZone.com around the world, good afternoon from Great Britain, and it's nice to have you with us. It's number 28 that's there in 2nd place. That's Nicholas Orbin, who went so well in his qualifying heat yesterday. He led it for some time. Finished 2nd eventually to Christophe Pourcel. And where are the 2 French riders? They haven't had good starts. The series leader and his brother, of course, Sebastian Pourcel, the older of the 2 brothers, Sebastian being 22, of course, Christophe being 17. Let me just remind you, Tommy Searle 101, the Molson Kawasaki runner, just 17 on Wednesday. So Tommy sort of just, there is Tom Church. He's obviously been off the bike somewhere. Tom back after that injury, and he'll get a big cheer from the crowd for sure. That'll help to lift him a little bit. But he got a good start, but it's not all gone to bits a little bit. He's crashed out somewhere around the track off camera, but that's what normally happens. So there you are. That is the Norwegian rider. It's Kenneth Gunderson out front at the moment. And Gunderson, of course, has already had 1 win to his name. He won at the 2nd Grand Prix in Spain, the first race. Since then, his results have been a little bit yo-yo, up and down. But Kenneth, is starting to come good. He's starting to put it all together again. He was so dominant. So Gunderson from Orbin from Philippaerts, the twice winner at the previous Grand Prix in Italy. Mackenzie, of course, the winner in Japan. He was the overall winner of Race 1. Pourcel was there. Young Tommy Searle down there in 8th. Carl Nunn behind him. Guarneri, Rattray and Caroli. 12th position for the defending champion. Swanee Paul, the South African with MJ Church Kawasaki, and of course, Molson Kawasaki. Sebastian Pourcel, and young Simpson's got a ride. He's got a ride. Simpson's in there. He's got a ride. That's good. Bozier, Borg, Moni, Wing, Milan, and Sestoli. Rene and Deruva. 26 with Deruva. He's had a terrible start to this one. Way down the field there. He's got a mountain to climb. Nicholas Orbin, number 28. Going after race leader number 12. That's Kenneth Gunderson, the Norwegian, on the Yamaha. So at the moment, Philippaerts just 2 seconds off the pace of the front runner. You can just see him in the back of the shot there. Mackenzie, 2:11, our top British rider. He is currently 4 seconds behind the leader, with Christophe Pourcel, the red plate holder, currently sitting around about the same 0.4 seconds behind the race leader, just level with Mackenzie. Chiodi. Kiko, the Braveheart Chiodi, the Italian 3 times former world champion, number 5, still riding with that knee injury, and it's a pretty bad one as well, but he did it in Japan. He kept going, scored points. He missed the Bulgarian Grand Prix, but he came back to Italy, scored points there, so the Braveheart Chiodi is out there. Gonzalez, the Portuguese, he has Tommy Searle right behind him, and Carl Nunn as well, so just a fractions, hundredth of a second dividing those 3 riders. So we have Rattray, 11th for Rattray. Well, he's got that shoulder injury picked up in Japan. He also has an ankle injury, which he picked up in Italy. So Rattray's championship is going from bad to bad to bad. Oh, we've got somebody out here. Oh, that's Church. That's Tom Church. So damage to the machine. Tom Church's first Grand Prix here in Great Britain has ended after just, what, 1 lap. Obviously crashing out somewhere. Something's damaged on the machine, but I'm sure the Molson Kawasaki mechanics will soon get that fixed and get him back. Won't get him back on the track, I think, for this race, but certainly get him back out for race 2 coming your way this afternoon. Chiodi dropping to 14th. Swanepoel, Pourcel, that's Sebastian, and Caroli 11th. Tony Caroli at the moment, a terrible start for the defending champion, but I can assure you, no doubt, that he will plough his way through the field as fast as he possibly can. He was out socialising last night with the public up there in the beer tent and the amusement and the fairground. We've got a big fairground here at the moment. And somebody else gone down. Is that Gunderson? Yes, it is. Gunderson has lost it. Oh, we saw this happen to him whilst leading the last Grand Prix in Italy. The track had been watered. He hadn't quite realised how slippery it was. He lost the front end of the bike. He lost his lead and dropped back. And he's done. There's Philippaerts, the twice winner. I have to say, he won both races absolutely superbly in Italy in front of his home crowd. He was followed home by the defending world champion Antonio Caroli, and the 2 Italians really did set the Italian crowd alight as they come through the Winchester waves. These are, that's what we call, everywhere we go, we change the name. They are waves, they are not those things that start with a W, whoops. We don't have them in Motocross Grand Prix anymore. We have waves. As Greg Atkins, the FIM track designer and technical track person who is appointed by the FIM to ensure that everything is as it should be. He's worked very closely with Johnny Hamilton. They've done a splendid job. But let's not forget all the other guys, all the volunteers that manned the machines, the diggers, the dumper trucks, the bulldozers. They've done an incredible job to put this track here. Just 2 weeks to make it. And I'll tell you something, it's been pretty tight at times. But 2 weeks to put this track here. Nothing was here 2 weeks ago. There was no infrastructure, no buildings, no mains, no water, no nothing. They put the whole thing together in 2 weeks. And Steve Dixon and the boys from Bike It Yamaha have done an absolutely incredible job. Yes, we've got the odd little teething problems, as you would expect. But they've done a great job, and this is where you'll come in September. Remind you, the 24th of September, 23rd, 24th of September, which will be the Motocross of Nations here at Matley Bay, just outside Winchester. We will have the best of the best, including the Americans. Will Bubba Stewart come with Carmichael? Will the 2 top American riders go side to side for their flag here in September? Well, we'll have to wait and see, but the track probably will have some small changes made to it, but all the little problems that have occurred to the run-up to this Grand Prix will have been cured. Things would have been learnt, of course, by the organiser, and I can tell you something, that's going to be some kind of day. I reckon we're going to get 50,000 here, so you best get your tickets early and leave home early to get in, otherwise you're going to miss all the action. But the Motocross of Nations comes here on the 24th of September. Nicholas Aubin there at the moment, still sitting. Where is he? In the lead. Aubin leads, of course, because the number 12 machine of Gunderson, who led earlier, made a mistake. Gunderson, I don't quite know what's going on with Kenneth. He just makes those little lapses, but he's now got Philippaerts, and he's got Mackenzie in third place. The young Brit, Billy Mackenzie. Billy Mackenzie, the Scot, is now closing on the two guys up front. Of course, Billy's still riding with that broken hand, I think this is left hand, broken hand, which he did at the local national championship round. It's been pretty tough for him over the last couple of weeks, been pretty painful. And here he comes, Mackenzie obviously being buoyed on by the home crowd, and Billy's going for this. Billy wants to win this one, as he did in Japan Race 1. Billy's going for second place, past Aubin as he made it. Billy on the bike, Dixon Yamaha, the sponsors of this British Grand Prix. Well, will they be very happy to get their man on the podium, that's for sure, at the end of the day. Very happy if he can make 2 wins out of 2. Mackenzie going for it. Philippaerts is the man that he's fighting with for that second place. Oh, this will be absolute pleasure and delight. When you stand at the top of the track, look at the crowd. I mean, we looked at Erne last year for the donations, and they had all the crowd just sort of stuffed into one area. Here, we've got 3 times the area to stick the crowd in, and we filled that up as well. So you can imagine what it's going to be like for the Motocross of Nations in September. I think Britain is going to eclipse everybody for the total crowd amount. I reckon we're going to get 50,000. Bring your mum, your dad, bring your granny, bring your auntie, bring everybody with you. Get wherever you are. The easiest way to get here is you can either jump on a plane to Southampton Airport, or you can get a boat across to Dover. You can even get boats to Portsmouth and Southampton, so that's not too difficult from the French coast and from the Italian coast. Or you can fly into Gatwick. It's only about an hour and a half from Gatwick, or fly to Heathrow, about an hour from Heathrow down the M3. Pretty easy to find. Matley Basin here in the UK. I think if we can overcome the problems with the local authority, they're gradually getting on our side. They're realising how good this can be, but how good it can be for the area. I mean, a lot of money is brought into a local area when you have a Grand Prix. Fox Hills Motor Park used to make millions, I can tell you, but even now the local area of Winchester, the hotels, the bars, everybody's going to make a lot of money at a Grand Prix being here. And for local authorities, I'm sure they're going to realise the advantages of having a Grand Prix here and how it brings trade to their local traders, local shopkeepers and bar owners and hotel owners. They're going to love it. So you can see the size of the crowd. The campsite here has been absolutely full since Thursday. I can't believe it. Just incredible, the campsite. It's been nowhere to park at all. It's been slightly, I don't say underestimated, but Steve Dixon just didn't quite realise how big this was going to be. But there he is, David Philippaerts, the winner of both races at the Italian Grand Prix, sits there second place, chasing Nicholas Aubin. And Aubin really has been a bit of a revelation over the last couple of rounds. He really has got his act into gear. This, I don't know what they've done to him, whether they've given him an injection or something, or they've just changed the machine, given him more than 2 gears or something, but he certainly has picked his pace up. And it looks like Philippaerts looking to get through. He's trying everything he can. There are various lines here you can take, but of course there is only one quick line, and that's the one that the guy in front is normally on. Philippaerts goes up the inside. He's looking for a way through over the jump. Is he going to make it? As they come round here, that's the finish line jump, and he's through. The Italian goes through. Philippaerts takes the lead. Aubin pushed down to second, so we've got Italy, France and Great Britain. Billy Mackenzie, come on Billy. The KTM team urging their men on. The Red Bull boys are saying, come on, you can do it again. Are we going to see 2 more Grand Prix wins for Philippaerts? Will it be the Yamaha of Mackenzie that pushes him all the way to the checkered flag, or will Caroli, who's now up into 9th place, do the pushing? Tommy Searley's in 8th. David Guarneri is in 7th. Gunderson is 6th. Porcel is 5th. Gonsalves is 4th. On Mackenzie, there we see the slow motion replay of the overtaking move by the Italian David Philippaerts as he goes through to take the prime position. He leads this Grand Prix, MX2 Race 1. Well, looking down his stats so far, and I can tell you that Philippaerts, he won the opening Grand Prix in Flanders, which was a good start for him, but then he went a little bit awry, just scoring 8 points. Then he had not such a good race in Spain, not such a good race in Portugal, neither in Germany, neither in Japan. Bad second race, but he came back in Bulgaria, scored 2 third places in Bulgaria, and went 2 steps better. Did 2 wins in the Italian Grand Prix, which of course round 7 was the last round. Now the fight for second position. Mackenzie looking for this. Billy Mackenzie on the bike at Dixon Yamaha. The sponsors of this British Grand Prix, of course, let's not forget our main sponsors, Kairsha. We've also got Tent Master now, who's a new sponsor who make these tent systems that you can just sort of unfold and squeeze up. There is another make that I can't mention, but it's the same sort of system. And they're called Tent Master, and they're one of our new sponsors, and they're pretty good bits of kit. So if you want a sort of easily foldable tent, or sort of a little bit of a roof over your head to carry on with you when you're camping, they're a great bit of kit. So Tent Master is the one to check out. I'm sure if you go onto your website, Google, and put in Tent Master, you'll come to their site. So Tent Master, I'll tell you a little bit more about them for the second two races. So Billy McKenzie now looking for it. The bike at Dixon Yamaha with the power on the inside. He goes through, he takes second. The crowd are going to go mad. The British fans are going to go crazy here. They're going to want McKenzie to chase Philippaerts now to take the lead. McKenzie on second. Billy McKenzie, well, it was a bit of a lacklustre performance in his qualifying round yesterday. He fell twice. I said to him, well, I said, Billy, what was going on? He said, oh, these damn slow riders just getting in my way. So, sort of excuse you expect from Billy, but nevertheless, Billy does his talking, and when he does it out there where it matters, which is on race day on the track. And McKenzie, well, you can see by his body language, this boy is pumped. He's coming after Philippaerts. McKenzie wants to win in front of his home crowd. It was Carl Nunn that did it at Matchman's Park Race 1 last year. Is McKenzie going to turn the title? Of course, McKenzie won the previous year in the Isle of Wight, because the Isle of Wight, unfortunately, no longer a Grand Prix circuit. I have to say, it's a sad loss, but the track was great, the facilities were great, but you have to say, the location was not so good, because you've got to get on a ferry to get there. Not such an easy thing to do in the Isle of Wight, because there are limitations, obviously, how many people you can get on ferries. So nevertheless, there's no limitations to be here in Winchester. If you're not here and you're watching it at home on TV, maybe you're watching it on Eurosport, enjoying the commentary of, well, you won't be hearing me, you'll be hearing Jack Bernacle, but if you're not here, if you're watching it on mediazone.com, well, you know, I hope you're enjoying the action. Look at the crowd. You know, I have to say that there's the best part of 20,000 people here. You might look a little bit thin at the back, but you've got 3 big loops here, and you can stand all the way around the track. As you can see there, you can stand right around the track. They haven't bunched the spectators into sort of one area to make it look pretty dense and thick. They've allowed plenty of room. You can see how much room there is along the top of the track, along the side. Each you can view from all 4 sides of the circuit. So it's not just a question of squashing you all into one area, and it looks good. I'll tell you something, there's 20,000 people here, if not more. So we were hoping maybe there were 30% up on ticket sales from previous Grand Prix at the early stages, and it's looking good out there. Nicholas Orbin, well, he's been credited with second. McKenzie still put back into third, but that's now changed as they pass the finish line and go past the timing section. With these machines carry transponders, which send a signal to the little bit of equipment on the side of the track, which sends a signal through the computer, and that's what generates all your graphics and your timing. So McKenzie is now credited with that second place. Guarneri, Tommy Searle with Caroli, the defending world champion. I can tell you that although he's gone out, Tom Church kept Mark Deruva behind him throughout the whole of the qualifying heat, till in the end, Deruva fell off. Rosen, 13th, Ray Rosen, the Molson youngster. I'm not sure it's his first Grand Prix, but certainly it's one of his early Grand Prix. And Brad Anderson, young Brad Anderson, who rode so well down at the Wednesday night event in Raider. Remember, back there in July the 14th for the final round. He is there as well, 20th. He's got young Sean Simpson behind him, who've got a ride eventually. So young Sean, great to see him out there, and great to see him running. He's got Mark Deruva, and Deruva is having the most wretched time here at the moment. Bob Moore is here, giving some advice to Deruva. Bob, you'll remember the fellow Chesterfield Yamaha rider with Donny Schmidt, the late great Donny Schmidt. Bob, I'm hoping to get in for the second 2 races to do a bit of co-commentating. I was hoping to have Andre Bartolini, the former world champion, in for the first 2 races, but Andre has failed to materialise, although he's pretty reliable, so maybe he'll turn up for the MX1 race. So Andre Bartolini, the former world champion, we'll try and get him in. He did say he'd come in and give us a benefit of his wisdom, although his English is it's okay. It's acceptable, I've got to say. You know, you'll understand what he says, and you'll understand what we're talking about. So we like to get our guests in here in the studio, live by the side of the track. We're here just outside Winchester. This is coming live to you from the Grand Prix here at England. My name's Kenny Kay, in case you don't know. I'm your commentator throughout this year's MX Grand Prix, and of course let's not forget Supermoto. There is Christophe Pourcel. Now the red plate holder is currently down. Where is he? He is in 4th position, and he's 8 seconds behind the leaders. So Christophe Pourcel, this is not going to be a good run for him. He had a pretty wretched time in qualifying last week in Italy, where he crashed 3 times. His brother broke his swinging arm on the bike, not the suspension, the swinging arm actually broke. But they both picked it up and got into the Grand Prix, and they both well, they both scored some reasonable points, to say the least. So Purcell, he had a, what was it now, a second and a fourth. No, sorry, it's 18 and 20 points, so he had a third and a fourth, it was, third and a fourth at the previous Grand Prix in Italy. So in front of the Italians, the young French 17-year-old rode well, kept himself well ahead in the standings, 274 points, 30 points in front of Mark Deruva, who is currently languishing, and I've got to say, languishing, where is he? In 22nd. I have a feeling he's gone out. Deruva not showing any more on the lap sheet, so he's gone out, I think, Deruva. He's obviously had a problem in that opening couple of laps. Maybe he collided with Tom Church, who also went out, so we don't know. We'll try and find out during the interval exactly what happened. But there is the defending champion, Tony Caroli, the young Sicilian. He rode the end of last year, of course, that broken scaphoid, fully fit for this year at the moment. He's not got the best of starts, but he's a charger, and I can tell you something, he doesn't like hard tracks, he likes the soft track, and this is very much a soft track. There's a lot of stones in this soil, but they came here before, they laid out the track, they took a machine and they went round and they basically de-stoned the area that would be the racing circuit. Expensive operation, it took some time, they've had 2 weeks to put this track together, they've done an incredible job. And so along with Greg Atkins, our FIM appointed trackman, and of course young Johnny Hamilton, who's done also a pretty brilliant job in the Isle of Wight. He's worked with Greg, and of course under the supervision of the FIM, because there are some strict rulings as to what can and cannot be done. There is Gunderson. He now has Caroli behind him, so early race leader. He's currently in 7th place with the world champion behind him. There is the race leader, still Philippaerts. 1 second in front of Billy McKenzie. Can wee Billy Mack get on terms with this young, hard-charging Red Bull KTM runner? David Philippaerts looking good at the moment, looking smooth. I don't know what's going on with this lad, because he's certainly, his attitude seems to have changed. I think he's on the new bike as well, so that helps. That's definitely going to lift your ambitions a little bit further. So Philippaerts from McKenzie from Orbin. Purcell, Guarneri and Gunderson, your top 6. So Kenneth has moved up 1. Who has dropped back 1 then? That would be Gonsalves, I think. That's gone back a couple. Tommy Searley's in 9th. So there's Caroli, Searle 9th, Swanham, Sonny Paul, and Purcell, Sebastian. Ray Rawson, the young British lad, I've got to say, maiden Grand Prix for him, qualified incredibly well, kept Tyler Rattray behind him. Rattray down in 17th, so our top championship runners at the moment are all down, sort of 4th, 5th and further down. Deruva out of this one by the looks of things. Doesn't say he's retired, but it looks to me like I think he has retired, because I'm looking at the laps to go here, and well, it doesn't appear to be showing on there. Jason Dugan also looks to be, he's got laps 8, he's still got lap 8 for Deruva, so lap 9, so maybe he is still out there. It's difficult to find out where he is, but he's way down at the back of the field, so whether he's just making sure. Well, there are Sestali, Borg, Wing and Church all retired there. Those are our retirees at the moment. Tom Church, tough one for him after qualifying so well. He didn't qualify last week in Italy. It was a tough Grand Prix for him. He qualified the week before in Bulgaria. It was his comeback Grand Prix for Tom Church. Came in last week and did some commentary with us. Did a great job. And I tell you, Tom, when you give up racing, we'll get you a career in commentating. Here comes Carl Nunn, number 8. On the Red Bull KTM. Teammate to this young man who currently leads, David Philippaerts, 19, also on the Red Bull KTM. And I'll tell you what, this lad has suddenly just lifted his game. There is McKenzie, great shot from our cameraman right into the face of the rider. And I've got to tell you, we've got 3 young ladies on the cameras here today, so we like to mix it around. But great stuff from our people out there on the cameras, great stuff from our director, and it's looking good at the moment. They're bringing us some great pictures. Oh, McKenzie, almost a little mistake there. The team, Ben, that's his mechanic, young Ben, cheering the lad, cheering his rider on. Oh, and Billy's trying. Billy really is trying. You can tell by the body language that he is absolutely trying. He's given it 101%, but the man out front, David Philippaerts, well, the times between them, Philippaerts, best time 2:02, Billy McKenzie 2:03, 3 seconds down on the race leader at the moment. Orbin 2:03, Purcell 2:03, then Guarneri 2:04. Then we've got Gunderson 2:04. Those are their best lap times at the moment. They're doing 2:02s, and at the moment McKenzie's doing 2:03. So that 1 second gap between first and second being maintained, but the young 20-odd-year-old, I'm quite sure they call him 21 or 22 now, Billy. He always disputes it what I say. There's Benny's mechanic, who very young been with Dixon Yamaha Racing from the sort of start of his career as a mechanic, and he's been spanner in Billy's bike for some years. Very rarely do we get the problems with the machine. You're obviously these bikes, they're 4-strokes, you get the odd little unforeseen hiccup. Something does break, it's mechanical, you've got to accept that fact. But Billy McKenzie really is now starting to try and pour on the pressure for the man up front. There is Orbin, he has got Porcel, the red plate holder, which depicts he is the championship leader coming here to this 8th round of the championship. 30 points in front of Deruva. And Deruva just 6 points in front of Rattray, and Rattray 4 points in front of Caroli. Philippaerts 210, so he's 21 points behind 4th place. At the moment, 2nd and 3rd in the championship standings are languishing way down in the field, so things could be changing. Deruva still 22nd, Rattray 17th, so I don't know what's going on. Chiodi drops to 15th place, so Kiko, the Braveheart Chiodi, that knee injury obviously still having an effect on the young Italian, the 3 times former world 125cc champion. Because those were the days when, of course, we had 125 2-strokes. Now we have the MX2 cars. These are all 250 4-strokes. The motocross racing over the last few years has changed predominantly to the 4-stroke machines, all in line with, of course, the pollution problems from America and so forth. But now we have noise pollution problems instead, so we need to cure that. I've said it before, guys, the young racers out there, all you club racers that have decided to have the day after day and watch Grand Prix, you need to address it at club level. It's club level where the problems are, because there are so many of you. You need to be self-disciplined. You need to check to see if your exhaust is 96 decibels, no more. Less would be better, but do it, guys, at club level, because it's your tracks you're going to lose, and it's you that are going to suffer. Grand Prix will continue, National Championship will continue, but it's the club level we're going to worry about, because that's where the noise pollution is the biggest at the moment. So self-regulate, boys. Do it for yourselves, because it's you, in the end, that will reap the benefits. Porcel trying to reap the benefit at the moment of closing up on the man in front to take 3rd position if he can. Nicholas Orban on the 28 bike, so the 2 Frenchmen going at it, 3rd and 4th, sorry. We've got Italian leading, a British rider in 2nd. Next British rider is Tommy Searle. He is in 8th place. The young, newly 17-year-old, as from Wednesday, in that 8th place. Gareth Swanepoel, his teammate, behind him in 9th. Porcel, that's Sebastian, in 10th. Carl Nunn is 11th, the next best British rider. Then we've got Ray Rawson dropping down to 15th. He's going to score points in his first Grand Prix. Simpson down in 21st. He's got Anderson, Brad Anderson there on the Pilot Yamaha. Pioneer Yamaha. He's going to be there. He's there currently in 20th place. So Anderson picked up a little injury, stone on his knee on Wednesday night down at the Welsh Motocross, the last of the Wednesday night evenings due to run on July. And here's that battle now for 2nd. And Porcel, well, time to go. We've got 10 minutes plus 2 laps. Plenty of time for things to change. Porcel has gone through. Now, Porcel is not, I'm working out, it's my brain at the moment, 9 to 4. So we're talking about 5 seconds of difference now between 3rd and 2nd. Someone in, is that Rat? No, that's Deruva. Deruva, there's a problem with the machine. Champ KTM, well, whatever it is, it seems to have affected him right from the start of the race. So Mark Deruva, who currently sits 2nd in the standings, effectively now has lost that chance of pressurising the series leader, which is on that number 377 machine, Christophe Porcel, the Frenchman. That's the overtaking move by the young 17-year-old French guy. Porcel goes through, puts Nicholas Orbin down to 3rd, so we've got France at the moment in 3rd and 4th. So a good move for him, and here he comes. Now, the big question is, can he close the gap? Less than 10 minutes to go, 9 to be precise, plus 2. Can Christophe Porcel do it? Can he get himself into 2nd place? Will he deny Billy McKenzie the silver medal from race 1? Let's hope not, guys, because we're British, we're going to be a little bit partisan, I know. But young Porcel, I tell you what, I was so pumped when he won his first double-header Grand Prix. He did it back in Germany, won both races to take the overall. That was the first time ever for him. I'm looking down at his brother's results. Of course, that's Sebastian Porcel. Looking down here in Germany, he had a pretty wretched time because he DNF'd both races in Germany. His results have been fairly consistent with 1, 2, 3, 4 DNFs so far in the 8 rounds. So the older of the 2 brothers, luck has not been so good. He had machine problems twice in the German Grand Prix, both times going out of that with those problems. There is Philippaerts, the race leader. So the young Italian charger on the gas at the moment on the Red Bull KTM, liking the track here. He liked the hard track in Italy. It appears that the soft track, and it is quite a soft track here in the UK, he seems to be quite liking that as well. There goes the board. Tell you how far, you've got 7 minutes. They're telling him 6, I think, but 7 minutes on my clock here, 7:48, plus 2 to go. So where is Mackenzie? Is the gap extended? Yes, no, it hasn't, because it's down to 7 seconds. Mackenzie has reduced the gap slightly, not by much, but slightly. Philippaerts, Mackenzie, there you see it, 7 seconds. 9 seconds back is Porcel, so Porcel is closing on Mackenzie. Orbit dropping back to 4th, 12 seconds. Caroli past Searle up to 7th. Searle there in 8th. Swan and Paul there in 9th. Sebastian Porcel, of course, in 10th. Carl Nunn in 11th. Not a good race for Carl Nunn at the moment. He would have hoped to have repeated his success. And I think that's David Philippaerts' girlfriend, I'm not sure. Don't actually know the name. I keep getting mixed up. We've got Michelle, we've got Sam. We've got so many gorgeous young ladies now that are the girlfriends of some of these riders. Tom Church's girlfriend, who I've not met until this weekend, is absolutely beautiful. I have to say, Tom, you really do have a great choice in ladies. Winchester Waves for the race leader. There he is. It is David Philippaerts, Italiano, on the KTM, and he is looking good. He's got 6 minutes plus 2, just over 6 minutes, plus the 2 to keep the bike on its wheels and keep himself out of trouble. Hopefully nothing will go wrong with the machine. David Philippaerts, number 19, Italiano, the leader on Champ KTM, was sponsored by Red Bull. And it's hot out there today, believe you me. There's a lot of people around with their shirts off, as like yesterday. There's also a lot of people who've got a bit of sunburn today. I did say to him yesterday on the PA, do get your factor to 35 or 25 or whatever factor you can find, because otherwise you're just going to end up being very painful on Sunday with a little bit of the old sunburn and a headache from the excessive alcohol you've consumed in party time in the beer tent last night. It was rocking and rolling. We had a group on which were like Madness, and for those of you out there that probably don't remember Madness, with Suggs, they were doing all the old Madness tunes, and it was pretty. We were up there with our camera getting some pictures. It was pretty awesome, I've got to say. We had a great party in Bulgaria. Italy was good fun as well, but the party here last night was really rocking and rolling. You've got to come down to the Nations. There is Kenneth Gunderson. I'm sure he will be the main rider for that particular nation. Kenneth Gunderson, of course, is a Norwegian, so he'll be representing Norway, I should say. Going to get my teeth readjusted. He's got Guarneri 250 in front of him. There's Caroli, Antonio Caroli, the world champion, closing up the gap on those two. So Caroli looking for 5th position if he can get it. Gunderson in 6th and Guarneri in 5th. Tommy Searle in 8th behind Caroli. So that is the big battle at the moment for that 5th position. Up the hill they go. Who's got the better power of the two bikes? Well, I can tell you, Tony Caroli didn't seem to be too worried last night. He was rocking and rolling and bouncing around, partying up there in the beer tent with the group. He was having a great deal of fun. He really is a party boy, is Tony Caroli, I can tell you. And his English is, we were hoping to get him into the commentary tower last week, the Italian Grand Prix, but it was just impossible for the lad to get to us in the end. He just could not get to us. So not to worry, one of those things. You know, we invite these guys in. If we say to them, you're under no pressure. If you can't get here for any reason, your racing's more important. You know, your fans are just as important. But it's nice to get these people on air with you so that they can talk to you. You can hear the voices. You can hear what they have to say about the track, what they have to say about their position, what they have to say about the team and the bikes and so forth. A little bit of their personal stuff as well. It's always nice for you out there watching us on TV or watching us on Media Zone to hear the guys that are usually out there doing their stuff on the bikes, the gladiators of the world of motocross. Caroli certainly is a gladiator for sure. There he is, Tony Caroli, number 1 on the bike, looking to do well here in Great Britain. But look at that for a high-flying jump. That is 101. That's Tommy Searle, the 17-year-old. I can't say 16 anymore because he was 17 on Wednesday. Happy birthday to you, Tommy. And I'll tell you something, this boy, Tommy Searle, there are going to be some offers going on the table, I think, in the next month for this guy for next year. There's going to be a lot of teams looking at Tommy Searle and saying, hey, this is a future world champion in the making. We want this boy on our bike. So Tommy's going to have to do a lot of soul searching, a lot of thinking and making comparisons on what the offers are all about. But Tommy Searle certainly is going to be on the shopping list of a lot of teams. He's a great lad. His dad's always with him. His dad's a bit of a party animal, I've got to say. Great lad. Really is great lad, his dad. But Tommy, cool as a cucumber, keeps his head together, as does Tom Church. But he's with a great team at the moment, Molson Kawasaki, of course, run by Lisa Church. It's a great family team, and I think that I have to say that I think Tommy would be wise to stay where he is, I think. But hey-ho, you know, it's their choice. Other people have other opinions, but I think Tommy's good for another year with the same team. Good atmosphere. They keep him level-headed, and they've stayed with him right through his development career, part of his career last year. So it'd be nice to see Tommy staying with them for 2007. And what a season that's going to shape up to be, I can tell you. We'll get more into that when we get the MX1 race out. But meanwhile, Rattray up to 16th. Rosen down now to 18th. But Ray Rosen riding it's got to be the Grand Prix of his life at the moment. Chiodi, 13th, gone back up a couple of places. Simpson down in 19th, so still scoring points. Young Sean Simpson on the Wolfsport machine, I think the Dugan behind him. And so there is the number 12 machine, now with the number 1 machine behind him. So Gunderson, the early race leader, until he made that mistake. Now with the current world champion, the defending champ, Tony Caroli right behind him. Fight for 6th position between Gunderson and Caroli. And there is Searle. And Searle hasn't given up a better finish. He's hanging on to the shirt tails of Caroli at the moment. Or is that Guarneri behind him? That's what Tommy Searle, it says here. Guarneri 5th, Gunderson in 6th, and Caroli 7th, Tommy Searle 8th. Well, I'm trying to spot the machines. There's Orbin, and he now has Guarneri. So Guarneri still is there in that, and Guarneri's going to go through. Nicholas Orbin, one monster jump over there, and he hangs on to it fast on the outside. But look at this. David Guarneri, who's had, I have to say, not the best of seasons so far. It's been real up and down for this lad. He's had, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 DNFs so far. His highest point score has been 15, I think. Yeah, 15, and that was in Germany. He has such promise, but it just doesn't seem to be coming together for him. But he's battling here at the moment. Nicholas Orbin, David Guarneri, you see the lap times. Guarneri just a bit quicker, looking for a way past the Frenchman in front. So Italy versus France, and here he comes up the inside. That's a block pass, but Orbin sees it coming. Orbin squares off the corner, comes back at him, but it's going to be Guarneri up the inside. Yes, it is. David Guarneri on the Yamaha up the hill, so he moves up now 1 position. He moves into 4. Porcel will be the next rider along if he wants 3rd. He's got to get past him. Not going to be an easy task. 2-lap board will be going up any moment now because we're down to 45 seconds. There is Nicholas Orbin, 28. Great start for the youngster, but he just couldn't hold on to it. And here comes Tony Caroli chasing down Gunderson. This is the battle for 6 at the moment. So if Caroli can get past Gunderson, he will then go after. That looks like Orbin just in front. So these two, I think, are going to overhaul the Frenchman for sure. There he is, and there is, so you can see the 4 almost in shot. The 4 riders all battling at the moment for that, well now, the 4th position. Because Guarneri moves up to 4th, Orbin drops to 5th. Then you've got Caroli and Gunderson in front of him with Tommy Searle in 8th. So literally 5 riders all to go. 2-lap board will, I should think, may go out next time, or this time round. 1 second, and we're on the zeros. So it's going to be the 2-lap board when the leader goes over the finish line jump the next time around. So the timing system, when we've got a faller here somewhere, yellow flag's being waved. There'll be no overtaking, boys. Waved yellow flag, not permitted to overtake. And believe you me, Dave Nicol will be watching on a set of monitors somewhere on the track to make sure there are no infringements of the rules. Of course, you know, if you get noise tested and you are over the permitted 98 decibel limit, you get docked a minute. So if you have to be leading the race, that drops you down to about 10th or 11th place. So something you don't want to happen. Out to Stephen Sword, you'll know, those of you that are regular motocross viewers, you'll know that the young Scot, Stephen Sword, won't be racing Grand Prix again this year after injuring his foot, breaking his ankle and his foot, and that big crash he had in Toishinthal. So MX1 class rider for the Group Kawasaki will not be racing for, I think, the rest of this season. Possibly Stephen is watching somewhere. If you are, mate, get well soon, Stevie boy. We miss you greatly. We want you back, of course, and we want you back for the nations, if possible. But we have to wait and see, because you are, of course, with Billy Mackenzie. Billy Mackenzie, although you're both Scots, you will ride for England, and that's a question that's being asked around the paddock. Why does Scotland not have its own nation's team? And I'm sure that's going to be rectified if Mr. Russell has his way. So look out, the guys in rugby. Mr. Russell's on the warpath. I think he's going to be pushing. So you might as well just give way and let Scotland have their own nation's team for 2007. Don't quite know who's going to ride for Great Britain, mind you, but of course we'll have James Noble riding MX1. Of course it'll be Billy Mackenzie riding MX1, MX2. Probably Carl Nunn riding MX2, but maybe Tommy Searle will get a crack. I don't know. Probably the reserve, so we'll wait to see. Look at this. This is the battle now for that second position, and Billy McKenzie, the young man we're talking about, is fighting off the attention of the red plate holder. 2 laps to go as McKenzie will tour on, and I'll tell you what, the Frenchman's going to take no prisoners, and he doesn't. He gets right up the inside of McKenzie. McKenzie starts to fight back, but Billy Mac, has got the French charger now. Has passed him, so Billy down to 3rd. So I've got to say, Pourcel, he didn't get the best of starts, but you don't keep this young French 70-year-old down. He really does put his head down and go for it. Such a revelation for this season, 2006. He started to show good form at the end of last year, but he has just exploded this year. They're on the last lap, so Philippaerts should take the win. It should be Pourcel in 2nd place. He's 5 seconds behind the race leader. No real chance of catching him. McKenzie right with 2nd place man, so McKenzie will still get, I think, 3rd place. He's got Guarneri. Well, he's the best part of 7 seconds behind Billy Guarneri, so no real chance for the man in 4th position to pass Billy McKenzie. Gunderson also in there as well, with Carodi behind him, then Orbin, Swan and Pole, Tommy Sell 9th, then Sebastian Pourcel in 10th. Carl Nunn is running 11th at the moment with Sebastian Paul, Nunn, Gonzalez, Chiodi 13th, Moni, Bozier, Rene Rattray 17th, Rosen in 18th, Simpson 19th, Dugan 20th. So Jason Dugan on for some points, or one at least. Campano, Milan, and then Leoc and Anderson 24th, but Deruva 25th. I think Deruva's out of this one now. Mark Deruva's got to be out of this. We saw him in the paddock with the machine. I don't think he's rejoined the race. It says here's 7 laps, looking at the laps, 11 laps. Yeah, Deruva finished on 11 laps. We're now on lap 17, lap 18 effectively. So that's the race leader. He'll take the checkered flag here for the first MX2 race here in Great Britain. This is the British Grand Prix, round 8 of the 2006 FIM World Motocross Championship. We go to Melk next week for the 3rd round of the FIM World Supermoto Championship. So those Christian Idden fans out there, and of course Sam Warren fans, will be cheering on the 2 British lads in our Supermoto World Championship. That's from Melk next week. You can see it all on mediazone.com, of course. Mediazone.com, place to be if you want to watch live motocross. The only disadvantage is you have to listen to me, but there you are. I can tell you all what's going on the track, because I'm here all weekend, so I'm wandering around the paddock picking up all the little bits and pieces and gossips and so forth. So it gets interesting this time of the year, because it's, you know, they call it contract time. It's where the teams are looking at their riders for next year, where riders are thinking, oops, I better up my pace. Checkered flag then for David Philippaerts, the Italian. 25 points. Well, they're going to be happy with that. She's smiling, so she should be. So Philippaerts wins MX2 Race 1 here in the UK. Great result for the lad, I have to say. Really great result for the lad. A little bit of paper rustling now at the moment as we move our scripts around. So he wins it. Pourcel comes in 2nd. Billy McKenzie comes in 3rd. He shakes hands with the Frenchman. So yeah, they're great sportsmen. So good result there from Pourcel from not the best of starts. He came through, and George Jobay congratulating, well, not his rider, so to speak, because George Jobay looks after MX1. Of course, it's Keith van der Ven that looks after MX2, the champ team. But George appears to be reappointed himself as the new team manager, it appears to be. But and Philippaerts, the Italian, getting the applause of the British crowd here. And I've got one saying about the Brits. Whether it's a Brit or not a Brit on the podium, they give them the equal amount of cheer. And Chiodi finished 13th, so the young charger, the 33-year-old, a former world champion, Chiodi the Lion, we call him, Braveheart Kiko Chiodi, held on to it, still scoring points. Chiodi currently sits, where are we, in the championship, 13 with 124 points. So Alessio Chiodi, look at that for a fabulous view over the circuit. You could not want for anything better, could you? Look at that, all the machines parked up in the middle. They even got them parked nicely in a nice neat line, which is really nice. So the race result, Philippaerts from Pourcel from McKenzie, Guarneri, Gunderson, Caroli, Swanee, Paul and Tommy Searle, the 2 Molson lads there, 7th and 8th. Molson will be happy with that for sure. So will Bell in South Africa, because we go to South Africa, remember, on the 16th of July. Nicholas Albin dropped down to 9th. Well, he must have just run out of puff. Pourcel, Nunn, Gonzalez, Chiodi, Bozier, Moni and Rene down in 16th, the young French rider, Alexandre Rene. Tyler Rattray finally finished 17th. Ray Rawson, what a great ride from Rosen. Simpson 19th, Jason Dugan 20th. Campano and Milan and Leoc and Anderson. Brad Anderson unfortunately dropping down to 24th. Deruva out, retired. Wing, Anelo, Sistoli, Borg and Tom Church retired on lap 1. machine damage, I think, from that crash. So there you are, that's it. That's the first race done and dusted here from the Great Britain, and what a race it was, I have to say. We hope to be going over to